Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here, joined by Coach Holt. Coach, nothing to talk about here on a beautiful Friday morning. Just the Phillies coming in, or the Phillies series coming up. The Dodgers going on the road, being the road team in terms of the Phillies having the home field advantage. A nice clean sweep of the Reds. You have the NLDS roster getting ready to be released. And so, hey, lots of fun stuff to talk about if you're a Dodgers fan. Always a great day to be a Dodger.
Oh, yeah. It's always a great day. And this is, like I said, we was talking about last time, the short rows, whatever you want to call it. We're down to playoff time. And the end is not necessarily near, but we can see where it's at, and we can see what we have to do to get there. So it's interesting to talk about it.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to get into, Coach, was the Andrew Friedman talk that they caught up with Andrew Friedman in the clubhouse the other day. The first thing that I wanted to really just kind of point out about what Andrew Friedman said, when, of course, best laid plans, you say it all the time, Coach. The best team doesn't always win. The most talented team doesn't always win. It just doesn't always work like that. But just some of my coaching eye just kind of picked out some of the language he used. And the first thing that really stuck out to me was bet on ourselves. I'm betting on our talent. We'll get into all the different ways that he used that. But we've been saying this, going back to even the double walk-offs. They mentioned that in the interview there, at home, how difficult. If you go back to the receipts of some of our shows after some of the worst losses the Dodgers have had this year, the one thing we've said consistently is we still think this is the best roster. It has the best pitching. So this team still has in my opinion, the ability to have its fate in its own hands the most. And so I think Andrew Friedman thinks the same way, the way that he confirmed with the terminology he used. Hey, let's bet on ourselves. What he's saying there is we think that we have the best team. We just need to worry about the Dodgers and not everybody else. And if we do that, we think we'll win. I think that's a show of confidence. That's great leadership.
Well, I love it. It's outstanding leadership, which we don't even have to go there again. We've already bragged on Andrew Friedman all the way down, the ownership, the game day staff, the minor leagues, the whole shooting match. But yes, I mean, think about, Casey, when we talked about back when they were making all the moves, and all of our buddies are telling us the Dodgers are buying a world championship, blah, 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 this and that. Andrew Friedman, all those people, Billy Gasparino, all these guys are big-time front office people who have put this team together. I'm like you. We're the third seed in the National League. I still think the Dodgers, if you say, we play our best, you play your best, the Dodgers win, in my opinion.
So what better message to give your organization than that? Just do what you're supposed to do and we win.
That's what I'm saying. We play our best, you play your best, we're going to win. I mean, that's kind of one of those deals. They did their homework, extreme homework to put this team together. And like any other thing, the best laid plans go to hell. Injuries, certain things, people not having the years that they've had in the past. There's so much stuff out of your control, but you get down to now. You're getting some players back. You're seeing some life in some players that have struggled somewhat. You're getting some healthy players. You still got some kinks in here, but the front office all the way down through Dave Roberts and his staff have a better handle on the problem. And what has happened in the past don't make a damn case.
That's what we kept
3 or 4
saying.
weeks ago we talked about that.
We kept saying
it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I love what he says. We're betting on our talent. We're trusting us. We've put this team together. We believe in this team, or we wouldn't have done it. They wouldn't have done it to begin with. They believe in this team. But again, I don't follow the Phillies and the Brewers and all them. Hell, they may feel the same way about – they got some guys that aren't producing like they did early. They got some guys that are struggling.
Especially the bullpen of the Phillies, no doubt.
Yeah, they may have some injuries.
Warts just like the Dodgers have.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't give a shit because I don't follow them. My point is everybody has that stuff. Everybody's got a little, sore arm, quote unquote. It's not an injured arm; it's a sore arm. Whatever. You got bumps and bruises. Everybody
guys not hitting well right now. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that can change. Like I said, that can change in any damn time because of the talent. That's what he said. We're betting on our talent, quote unquote. Betting on our talent. That
tells me he thinks the Dodgers have the best talent.
Yes.
That's a hell of a message to send, Coach.
Yes. We don't give a damn we got to go on the road. We don't care at the Phillies. And if we proceed farther and it's the Brewers or whoever, we don't care if we got to go on the road. It don't make a damn. I always go back to the Giants. I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Dallas Cowboy guy who loses every damn year, but the Giants one year never played a home game, and they go and play an undefeated team in the Super Bowl and beat their ass. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Nothing matters up this point. Tony La Russa in 2011, the Cardinals just get in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And they won the whole damn thing. That's what we're talking about. That's the beautiful part about baseball is that. The beautiful part about us being Dodger dogs and loving our Dodgers is that I feel the same way he does. I still think if you just match them up, the Dodgers still have the best lineup. Mm-hmm. They still have the best team. We're amazed to be seeing how that turns out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and hey, even if it turns out the Dodgers don't win, that still doesn't mean that's not the case. That just means that he didn't win because baseball has a million different variables. He also said that the bullpen issues are not talent issues, they're execution issues. For one, obviously, he's saying, hey, we did our job. What I really like about this is a bottom line comment. This is a comment that you hear from very confident bosses all the time, especially in a competitive element like a sporting element. So what he's saying here is this is an execution issue, not a talent issue. What he's really saying is, hey, we did our job as a front office to give you the players that you need to have to win a World Series. Now it's your job to get these players to execute the way that they're capable of. And as a player, it's your job to get your crap together well enough to be the player that we actually went and acquired. So what Andrew Friedman did with that one comment that, hey, this is an execution issue, not a talent issue, is that he created a whole hierarchy of accountability that great leaders do. That accountability right there is, hey, we went and got you because you're good, so pitch like you're good. We went and got this guy because he's good, so figure out as somebody who's working with these guys to get that good out of them. That's the standards that I'm setting for you at this moment, and we're just not going to accept anything less. I thought that accountability hierarchy was a great, just kind of bottom line statement from Andrew Friedman.
Well, what you mentioned it earlier, great leadership.
Yes.
Here's the other part. We talked about, everybody's speculating on the damn trading deadline like you do every year. And the Dodgers didn't do anything. We talked about it then. That shows you exactly what Andrew Friedman's saying today. We're good. We think we're good with what we got. They went and got, actually, it's a good thing they got Rorfeld. They had a couple of guys that actually helped a little bit, but you got more that are helping in the minor leagues that may eventually help on the big league level. But the point being, they didn't go out with a big splash because they didn't feel like they needed it. We talked about it then. He's saying the exact same thing today. They were betting on their talent at the trade deadline. We know we're getting so-and-so and so-and-so back from arm injuries. We know Mookie's going to be Mookie at some point. He's a Hall of Famer. We know this. We're betting on our team, our coaches. We're betting on our talent. They did the trading deadline. They did it before the damn season started. They did the trading deadline. They didn't go out and try to start, reshaping things. We're betting on our talent. The trading deadline, October 3rd, we're betting on our talent. So that says all you need to know right there. And like we said, if it doesn't work out, it wasn't because those guys, Andrew Friedman and staff, all the way down, didn't do a hell of a job and didn't do the right thing. Baseball is just baseball. If it doesn't work out, that don't mean they screwed this whole damn thing up. It means it just didn't work out because that's baseball.
Yeah, so we're getting we actually have a comment here from Craig Osterberg, who is like the most reliable human being of all time. Coach Craig is here every single show.
Hi, Craig.
Yeah, he is absolutely awesome, Coach. Craig Osterberg is saying that Justin Dean made the roster, Conforto and Bonda didn't. Bonda is a surprise to me. We'll get into some of the roster talk here in a minute. That comes from D-Mac from Dodgers Nation, our boy D-Mac. D-Mac's absolutely awesome. The best YouTuber as far as Dodgers go on YouTube, 100% over there at Dodgers Nation. So, okay, here's another part of the execution issue. So people get frustrated why the Dodgers continue to work with Tanner Scott, why they continue to believe in Blake Trinan. So whenever you truly believe as a coach or a manager, whatever it may be, that your players' issues are execution and that they're talented enough to do what you need them to do, then you always feel like you can clean up that execution. So let me give you, because that's a fixable situation. And so when you have a fixable situation with guys who have been there before, you just have a hard time giving up on that. Let me give you the perfect case scenario. Roki Sasaki. Coach, I covered Roki Sasaki's first rehab outing. I interviewed him. It was terrible. It was not, when I say terrible, it was like 91, 92, 93. And as recently as like 3 or 4 outings ago, I'm posting about Roki Sasaki. I think Coach Holt just got a call. I'm posting about Roki Sasaki, and I'm having comments on it like, hey, he's cooked. Hey, he's a bust. Hey, well, the Dodgers are smart enough to know. Here's 2 things that I like that they said about him. One is obviously the arm talent is undeniable, but 2, they trust him because of the WBC, the World Baseball Classic experience he got. Also throw in the fact that he had to go back to Japan, face that pressure. So they firmly believe that nothing is too big for Roki Sasaki because he's had the experiences in the past to handle those situations. And then also, we said this on last night's show, the last 3 outs aren't always the biggest 3 outs. And so Andrew Friedman didn't want to pin Roki Sasaki into the closer role. He wanted to pin him into the quote-unquote high leverage role. That was the perfect language to use. Well scripted out.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you go back on his World Baseball Classic and what he's shown in the past. Again, we're betting on his talent. We're trusting his talent. We're trusting what we see. You're right that the high leverage can happen in the 5th or 6th inning. Depends on where you are. Depends on the situation of the game. The score of the game. Depends on what it looks like on your end as far as how your pitching is working out. The guy you're going against. So high leverage is going to be a decision made in the dugout by Dave Roberts and the staff. What's the most, hell, this may be the biggest part. You hear announcers said on TV sometimes, hell, that's the biggest part of the game. And people that don't understand the game may be going, what the hell are you talking about? It's the 6th inning. But as we all know, all 27 outs are important. That high leverage can come anytime, and you don't need to pin him down to the closer. Correct. I've seen it several times that
if he's your best guy, throw him in the biggest part of the game, not just the last 3 outs.
In years past, you sit there, and I'm not even a Yankees fan, but I can remember back in the day thinking, hell, they ought to bring Rivera in now. Mariano, bring him in now. What the hell? Wait, that type deal. So that's exactly what he's saying. I totally agree with it. The high leverage moments isn't just the last 3 outs, and those most important out could be 1 out, could be 2, could be 3 outs, could be I need somebody to get me 5 outs.
Well, just depending on the part of the lineup they have coming up.
Yes, it depends on everything. What's the lineup look like? What's my lineup been doing? There's all so much that's going to go into that makes a high leverage moment. That's going to be judged by Dave Roberts in the dugout at the moment. And
which scares some Dodgers fans. I promise you that.
Yeah, not me.
The Dodgers fans would rather have a lot of Dodgers fans would rather have it say, hey, this is our 7th inning guy, this is our 8th inning guy, this is our 9th inning guy, because that takes the decision making away from Dave Roberts. And there are some people that think that's probably a better situation because they don't trust the fact that he'll stay away from analytics or whatever their argument may be. But I would say that's with every single manager. I know there were Reds fans that want Terry Francona. They think he's the dumbest manager of all time because of the way he used Nick Lodolo the other day, which I personally, I don't think he used Nick Lodolo properly whatsoever. So if a Reds fan wants to criticize Terry Francona on that, I think they're probably right. And Deuce is saying right here, sometimes it's more than just execution, it's between the ears, which is a great point. And so what that tells you is with Roki Sasaki, they never saw any kind of lack of confidence. They never saw anything from a mentality perspective throughout this entire year that they couldn't trust with Roki Sasaki. They literally saw structural issues with the oblique and then the shoulder, and then they just saw a slower ramp up. So I think that differentiates him, what Deuce is saying here, between Tanner Scott, because Tanner Scott strictly 100% is between the ears. And so I think whenever you're hearing the trust factor come out of the mouth of guys like Andrew Friedman, he's giving you reasons why he does trust Roki Sasaki, which, hey, I'm playing a little bit of conspiracy theory here, but that then would go against why you wouldn't trust a Tanner Scott at this moment. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. I mean, you can read between the lines, and in reality, they're telling you exactly what they mean. Yeah, Scott is definitely not a talent issue with him. That's obvious.
And it's not an injury issue.
It's not an injury.
It's been a between the ears issue, and you can just go back to all of his press conferences.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. I mean, why do guys get the yips? I mean, what the hell? These are major league players. I haven't seen anybody in a while.
Or just lose your confidence.
Can't throw it back to the mound. Second baseman can't throw it to first. Hell, who knows? I mean, there's things. I'm not saying that the yips pitcher gets hit, well, that's why Rick Ankiel ended up a damn outfield. Yeah, he's throwing everything off the dang backstop 102 miles an hour. But so there's always, as we mentioned on the last time we were together, Case, the mental part of it. Baseball, I mean, that's bigger. First of all, you got to have the talent to be a major league player.
It's bigger this part of the year than it is any other part of the year. If you're not confident right now, you got to go.
Yeah, and it's because the pressure's there.
Yes.
We're past there. We're not. It's not even the dog days. It's not a pennant race. You're in playoff mode, playing for a world championship. Every day you walk out there, every pitch is a pitch trying to win a world championship. You don't look that far down the line, but you are. You got to win this one.
You don't have time to develop somebody's confidence. It's either there or it's not at this moment.
No, you can't do it. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't have time. You've tried all year. Whatever they've been doing, they've been trying all year. Now's not the time to try to work on things, quote unquote, work on things. It's too damn late.
They made that statement with Conforto. Will they make it with Tanner Scott? That's my question.
Yeah, they stuck with Conforto all year,
and then didn't for the playoffs.
And he's not going to be a factor. So there you go. So they don't have a problem making those decisions.
Yeah. So like I said, they made those decisions with Conforto. Hey, it didn't work. We couldn't figure it out. He didn't have confidence. Whatever it may be. I'll be curious to see if they make that decision with Tanner Scott. I think with the Anthony Bonda thing being left off, I think that tells you Tanner Scott likely will make the roster, because you're going to need some lefties to get the Kyle Schwarbers out and some of the better left-handed hitters, although the Phillies do have a lot of right-handed hitters. So, okay, another thing that he said is that he basically took the guardrails off of Shohei Ohtani, which is exciting because here's the deal. Ohtani's going to throw game one. In my opinion, the biggest, this is the two best teams in baseball, in my opinion, okay?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think when you evaluate this, you're splitting hairs. Who's better between the Dodgers and Phillies? I think if you wanted to be a staunch Phillies fan, you could make the arguments for why the Phillies are the best team. I think if you're a Dodgers fan like we are, you can make the argument for why the Dodgers are the best. So I think you're splitting hairs in terms of saying can you make yourself a little bit taller there, Coach? You kind of shrunk on me there just a touch.
Okay.
If you can do that right there, it'd be perfect. Okay, so as far as comparing the talent, I think it's splitting hairs. You could use a million different metrics to prove whatever narrative that you need to prove as far as that goes. But I say that to say I think the biggest advantage that the Phillies have would be that they have home field advantage. So what that tells me is game one is absolutely gigantic, because if you can go in and win game one at Citizens Bank Park, then now you have the home field advantage. So here's what I'm going to say. Shohei Ohtani pitches. Now, Tyler Glasnow has not pitched since the 27th of September. If he doesn't pitch until game 4, which is the way the pitching rotation is set up, that would be like 13 days. That's too many. So here's what my proposal. I think it would be the perfect case scenario that Shohei Ohtani with no guardrails, go as long as you can with Ohtani. As soon as he runs out of gas, Tyler Glasnow comes in as the next pitcher and takes home the next 3 innings or however many innings it is that's left, the meat on the bone that Shohei Ohtani left. So I think square one, if it was up to me, would be Shohei Ohtani and then Tyler Glasnow to finish. Game 2 would be Yamamoto. Game 3, Blake Snell. And then Game 4, Glasnow. Glasnow gets that work in between his 2 starts. It would basically take the place of his bullpen, and it gives you your best shot to fire all your bullets to win Game 1, which is so huge. That's how I would set it up.
Yeah, you get home field advantage back if you go get that one. And we got to remember the last time Shohei pitched against the Phillies, they got nada. What did he get? 1 hit? When he had 1 hit or something, I mean, he dominated the Phillies last time they threw him. So they can't be again, they're big league hitters. They see great pitchers all the time. But when they heard Shohei was pitching, they probably weren't just thrilled with that either. But that being said, if he's not on his game, that it's not going to matter. But no, that's a great scenario. Why have a guy sitting if he can give you, if he can give you some length right there, a starting pitcher who's not going to pitch till Game 4. I love the idea. I mean, let's go back. I wasn't a big, Giants fan either, but they used the big lefty there. I can't remember his freaking name. That big crazy guy from Georgia that won a world championship. Basically, they'd use him in relief quite a bit. The same situation on the starting. Now he probably went on some short rest. We're not talking about short rest.
You talking about Bumgarner?
Yeah, Madison Baumgartner. Yeah, I couldn't remember his damn name. I could see him, and
You're
he was
getting old, Coach. That's quite a brain cramp to forget Madison Baumgartner's name.
Yeah, well, I didn't like the guy. First of all, I respected him, but I didn't like him.
You didn't like Blake Snell either.
No, yeah, I didn't like Blake. Well,
You do now, though. You do now, though. All is forgiven now, right?
I thought we might have a chance of getting him.
Yeah.
We were never going to get Baumgartner.
Yeah, right.
I would have loved Baumgartner in a Dodger uniform.
That would have been weird.
That would have been weird, but it damn sure would have been nice. But anyway, you look at that scenario with a starting pitcher that's going to give you something. In these scenarios, you can do that. It goes back to me and you, Case. Who's my best available pitcher right here? Shit, I mean, I look down the bullpen. I got Glasnow sitting there. Shit, he hadn't thrown since September 27th. What am I waiting on? He can still get his work. I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to go out there and go 60, 70 pitches with him. But again, goes back to some leverage stuff there. When's he coming in? What's their lineup look like? Who's he facing? And he's a damn good pitcher. So why have him sitting there if you can use him now? And it sets your bullpen up for future use too. So if they go that route, I'm totally in on that.
So Jay's saying here that he thinks that was maybe a projection from DMAC and that because the rosters aren't out. So
they're not out yet. Okay.
It was kind of maybe coming off like, hey, there's some inside scoop here. But to make it very clear, the rosters are not due until tomorrow morning. So we will not know exactly what's going to happen until tomorrow morning. And so we'll probably come on live after we have a roster talk show at that point. So that's definitely not official unless there is some inside information on that. And even if I've learned this, what's so scary about breaking scoops, of which I've broke about 10 of them on Dodgers Daily, and some of them pretty big. What makes them so scary is that whenever you get information, it's actually accurate when you get it. Like the last one I did on the lefty that the Dodgers stayed in AAA. I'm having a brain cramp on the name, but I had
you're getting old. You're getting old.
JP. Oh goodness. Yeah, all right, Coach. You're firing back at me. Well done there, Coach. But the information was absolutely accurate. Remember, when he was driving to the airport, and they changed it. So what makes it very scary about coming out with scoop is that yes, you're correct at the moment that you're providing that scoop. But then things change like 1,000 different times. And I say that because right now, between right now and tomorrow morning when they have to release this roster for the NLDS, I promise you things will change 1,000 times between now and then. There's no way that they know right now exactly how it's going to go, and they won't have any more conversations on it. I just couldn't see that being a scenario.
Yeah. Everything's going to be changing. I mean, they're taking everything into account right now. I mean, they've got of course, the Dodgers are the best, having all the analytic information. They're also going on field at some point, show that they've got everything they need on paper, and in their computers, their laptops, everything. They've got everything they need there. Now, where's the field at? Again, we can do that now. We're in playoff mode. We can do that now. I can have Dave Roberts put his damn hands on his chest. We can do that now. It's the same scenario right there. We're going to go on field. Yeah, my numbers tell me this, but I don't like that. I like this guy better than that. But you're absolutely correct. There's going to be a lot of changing between now and the time that thing comes out.
So, all right. Another part of this, too, whenever you put the roster construction together, I think there's a couple of ways to look at this. You can say, okay, who are our 26 best players? Okay. Or you can say, what are the 26th most important roles that we're going to have on this team? I personally think that this roster is going to be put together based on, especially on the last 3 or 4 spots that we'll get into here in a second. I think these roster spots are going to be given based on roles and not who actually the best player is. So kind of give us your thought on that, Coach, in big games and playoff games. Is there ever a time where you think, okay, what role do I need versus what player do I need in that moment? Because I think that's the way that I would put this together. Am I wrong there?
No, I don't think so. But when you're talking about roles, I think you have to. Like I said, the numbers, the analytics I have in front of me say.
Like this guy might be the better player, but he doesn't play second base, and I need a second baseman right now.
Absolutely. That totally goes into it. That goes into it all the time. You always try to get your best 9 on the field. Case with the old scenario, get your best 9 players on the field, whatever the hell you have to do that. It's the same thing. What's the roles going to be? Because you got to plan ahead. If who's our infielders? Is there a chance we move this guy to the outfield? Is the outfielder going? very some outfielder come in, but you got a lot of infielders that can play both the infield and outfield. But if I have to put him in left field, now what about, there's so much, but roles are so big there. But in that scenario, you still got to decide who's going to give us the best option there. May not be the best player, but he'd be the best at playing that position and filling that role. You're absolutely correct.
So we went over this pretty good last night. Edmond only playing infield. I kind of say that to say, I'm going to say it again. I think that favors Justin Dean over Hassan Kim. So let me kind of get into some of the numbers here. Here are the guaranteed pitchers: Jack Dreyer, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, Emmett Sheehan, Blake Snell, Blake Trinan, Alex Vesia, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 guaranteed pitchers. Here are the pitchers that, in my opinion, are on the bubble. Robo, Justin Robleski, Edgardo Henriquez, Tanner Scott, Ben Kasparius, Anthony Bonda, Clayton Kershaw. Here are the guaranteed position players: Ben Rortvedt, Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, Freddie Freeman, Kike, Max Muncy, Rojas, Teo, and Pages. The players on the position players on the bubble would be Dalton Rushing, Hassan Kim, Alex Cole, and Justin Dean. So basically what you have is 29 players fighting for 26 spots. So you have to shave 3 players from that list. The obvious players to shave to begin with would be Edgardo Henriquez and Justin Dean. You say, well, those are the 2 guys we haven't used as much this year. But then again, without Tommy Edman playing center field, I think that prioritizes Justin Dean. So what do you think about that?
Well, there's no doubt it does. I mean, I think you talked about, you mentioned maybe puts Kim as maybe your pinch runner a lot. You may have to use him here or there, but that favors Dean. I wish he wouldn't miss fly balls in center field. But I'm that guy. I know it just is what it is, but it wasn't necessarily a routine fly ball either. But but you got to do. It's got to be one or the other. So you're right. I think in that scenario, it's going to favor Dean over him.
So Tanner Scott, Clayton Kershaw, Anthony Bonda. Well, I don't know about Bonda, but I think Tanner Scott and Clayton Kershaw are almost assuredly going to make the roster. Okay, so that leaves. Let's say that Anthony Bonda did make it, which that would be a surprise to me if Bonda didn't make it, just because of who the Phillies are. Again, that goes back to roles, matchups, that type of deal. So that leaves you 4 spots between Robo, Edgardo, Kasparius, Rushing, Kim, Call, and Dean. I think Alex Call is going to make it. So 3 spots. Okay, so let me just throw this at you, and in the chat, why don't you give your thoughts here? Let's say that Bonda does make it, because I think he should, because of the matchups against the Phillies. Okay, and he's good against lefties. So I also think Alex Call's safe. So let's say Alex Call's safe. That leaves 3 spots for Robo, Henriquez, Kasparius, Rushing, Kim, and Dean. That's 6 guys fighting for 3 spots. Who are your 3 guys that you pick who are those 3 guys out of that 6 that you pick for those 3 spots?
Well, I think you already mentioned. I think you had to go with Dean. I think Robo and probably Rushing. That'd be my choices. I don't know. It's hard to keep Kim off there, though. He brings so much to the table in this scenario as far as a guy that can come in and run for you and do some things. So maybe Robo, Kim, and Dean probably, if you're going to go there. But, God dang, what do you do?
And we have a question here. Yeah,
Hard to leave Rushing off there.
But see, here's another deal. That's kind of why I brought up role versus player. I think Dalton Rushing is one of the best 3 players in that group.
Right.
But does he stand to play one of the 3 most prominent roles in that group? Do you see what the debate is here? I don't think Justin Dean's one of the best 3 players in that group. I think if you chose the best 3 players, you go with Justin Robleski, probably Dalton Rushing, and Hassan Kim, and I think that's probably a slam dunk. So where the gray area comes in here, where the Dodgers brass is going to be just scratching their head is, man, do we go with just our best 3 players and say to hell with it, we'll figure out what the role is? Or do we actually go with, on the margins, what are the 3 most important roles out of these 6 players that we need? And let's choose the 3 guys that can play that role. Which way does Coach Holt go with that?
I got to go with the role. I got to go with the 3 most important players in roles, because that's where we are. Again, we're not in the we're not looking at the long haul. We're looking at the World Series from the long haul. If you're looking at that, but no, you're making decisions now. There's no. It goes back to the same thing we was talking about with pitchers. Now's not the time to try to work through some things or give a guy a chance to work out of something. If he's in the game, yes, you got to maybe have a chance of having him work out of trouble or something like that. I'm not talking about that, but you got to go your best. The roles at this point would be the most important thing. Let's face it, they got good enough players. The Dodgers have good enough players of any of those guys to come in to win the series and win everything. But what's the most important role right now as far as when they put their roster together?
Defensive outfielder, I think it's number one. That's what I'm saying.
You got all those scenarios. Who plays infield out? Who plays infield and outfield? Those are going to be valuable people that can do both. Run well. Who can handle bat? As a pitch hitter. There's all kinds of things that are going to go into that, and that's how you got to make your decisions off those roles.
So you've already got Miguel Rojas. Tommy Edman can't play the outfield, so you got two elite level defensive second baseman that should play in any high leverage moment over Ha-Seong Kim. As talented as Ha-Seong Kim is, I'm throwing Rojas and Tommy Edman out over him defensively at this moment in time every day and twice on Sundays, just because they're elite defensively, and obviously they've done it before and they know what this looks like. So if you're going defensive substitutions at second base, I don't see Ha-Seong Kim having a role there. But if you're going late game defensive substitution in the outfield and center field, I could see Justin Dean. We saw that last series. So what's more important to you, Coach? A pinch runner, which is basically all Ha-Seong Kim would be, or a late game defensive center fielder? Which role to you is more important?
Late game defensive center fielder, because let's face it, how many times are we using a pinch runner here? They'll do more now in the playoffs.
Well, it could win you a game or lose you. I mean, that's not insignificant, but it's just.
No. Well, it's like bunting. That's not insignificant either, but nobody does that crap till they get in the playoffs. I saw it several times yesterday. I was watching a Cubs game. So it bunted 3 times. It bunted like 5 times all year. Some crap. That's what I'm saying. All bets are off of what we've done up to this point. Starting up a new series. Pinch runner's great, but how many times you see them using pinch runners? Not very damn. You don't. You better damn sure know when you're going to use it, because whoever you're running for is done. It's not like high school case.
Absolutely.
You can run for somebody, put his ass back in. It's going to be gone when you do that. So that's an important role. That may be a situation that'll win you a game too, but I don't think it's so important that you have to take away somebody else. I'd rather have a late game defensive replacement. And of course, worst case, you could always bring Kike in to play second base if you got down to the third damn second baseman. He's played there before, so he can play those places too. So,
do you trust Justin Dean after he didn't catch the ball?
What I say a while ago, anybody drops fly ball.
So what does that do to Coach Holt, who's won state championships? You've been in state championship games. You've been around baseball. You've been a coach. Your brother has been the broadcaster of Oklahoma State University, who's been one of the greatest programs in the history of the world. So you've been through all of that as a reporter and all that. Nobody had, you probably have 35 major leaguers on speed dial on your phone right now, and that's not an exaggeration. So for Coach Holt, after seeing that, him miss that ball, is he your late game defensive substitution? That's another question. But after seeing that,
I think he is. I'll get it past the pissed off Coach Holt, which you've seen numerous occasions in your lifetime. But
I'm just saying from a trust perspective, not being pissed, but trust wise.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, it goes back to the same thing. I'm picking a 26-man roster. I picked the damn guy. I mean, I've got to believe in him. It's like a guy making errors in the first game of the state tournament. I ain't pulling his ass out. He's my starting third baseman. So if Dean is my my late game replacement center field, yeah, whatever. I know he don't miss balls like it all the time, or he damn sure wouldn't be up there. That's not fair to me to say that. I'm just an old fart that thinks everything hit there.
No, you're not, Coach. No, you're not, Coach. You're well loved and respected.
Everything hits in the air ought to be
I ain't letting you talk crap on yourself like that.
Never hit grass out here, but of course we're not playing major league hitters either. But anyway, I'm just the old guy that didn't like ever seeing a fly ball hit the damn ground. But anyway, Smalley.
Well, you don't have to be old to not like to watch fly balls hit the ground. I mean, hell, I would imagine young people, Dodgers fans, don't like to watch that either.
No, hell no. You don't want to see it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, your first time that happens, are you freaking kidding me? We're in the big leagues. But anyway, but your second thing is, I know the guy's a talented kid. He's earned where he's at, or he wouldn't be there. The Dodgers have already proven they're going to make tough decisions. They're not giving Dean a chance because they're good old boys, and they're just trying to, hey, he's a nice kid. Let's give him a shot. That's not why the hell he's up there. He's there because he earned that spot. Yes, he made a bad play the other night. No, he's still my late game defensive replacement. If that's what I choose him to be, I'm sticking with that.
So no lack of trust. No lack of trust.
I'm not changing that now. No. Hey, screws up another play out there. You know how that goes. It's the same old thing.
Well, if he screws up, here's the problem. It's like the Tanner Scott deal I've been saying about Dave. If Dave puts out Tanner Scott, it might work and it might not. If it doesn't work, that's on Dave, okay? It's that fool me once, shame on you, okay? So while Tanner Scott was struggling to begin with, that's on Tanner Scott. At this point, if Dave puts out Tanner Scott, that's squarely on Dave. He has the evidence that Tanner Scott's not right. So the first error, that's on Justin. Hey, you missed the ball, right? Okay? That's not on Dave, okay? Dave had never seen that before. Now that he has seen it, it's the fool me once, shame on you. But if you fool me twice, shame on me. So if Dave puts Justin Dean back out there and he makes another mistake, you know who that's on? That's on Dave, Coach, because he knows it's a possibility and he did it anyways. That's the big boy pants you have to wear. Now, whether that's fair or not, I don't know. I know that's the case, and that's just the big boy pants you wear as a manager.
Yeah, and I'm not going to. I'll go you one bet. I'm not going to relate. I'm not going to put catching a fly ball and throwing freaking strikes on in a relief pitcher in the same vein. In other words, what I'm saying, Dean's been able to catch fly balls.
I will.
His ass has been catching fly balls, line drives, doing all that up to this point. Yeah, he had one bad one. Okay.
Yeah.
He's proven he can do that, or they would never have him.
So
up
that's
there.
that's not on Dave to put him out there. That's just Justin Dean missing a fly ball.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he had. Now, if Dean's got a history of that, hell, I don't know. I don't watch.
Well, he does now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. As of right now, he has a history of missing fly balls.
Yeah, he's got one. I'll give him that because the hell, one. And like I said, it wasn't just a routine fly ball either, but. One is one too many, but, hell, they didn't pull Aaron Judge out because he missed a damn fly ball. You know what I'm saying? It's Aaron Judge, too.
I know what you're saying.
He has a history of that shit, too. So,
but, Coach, whenever you put players back in there that are struggling because you believe in them, what I'm trying to tell you is that's the courage managers have because if it doesn't work out, you know who's getting all the criticism for that? You. You are putting your neck out for that guy. So is Dave Roberts willing to put his neck out for a Justin Dean who he hasn't known for maybe 2 or 3 months, and he has really no past history with? That's the big question there.
We'll know when the roster comes out.
That's right.
We won't have to wait to see if he puts him in a damn game in Philly. If that 26 man comes out and he's on it, that answers your question right there. He trusts him. So
the big elephant in the room is we talked about. Hey, in my opinion, you have to for your last 3 or 4 spots that are all on the margins. I think you go role versus player. So like there's 6 spots playing for biting for 3. There's 6 players, fighting for 3 spots. I think you could either choose the 3 best players or the 3 guys that stand to play the most prominent roles that you might have. Well, the elephant in the room, the number one most important role would be backup catcher if Will Smith is not healthy. So what we're not privy to, and I honestly, Coach, I'm going to tell you this point blank. I'm going to tell Dodgers Dawgs fans out there. I'm telling you right now that the Dodgers brass has no idea whether Will Smith is healthy or not. I'm telling you right now, there's no doctor on earth. Will Smith himself has no idea whether Will Smith how much he could handle behind the plate because you just don't know till you get back in again. How many times you see a guy come back in and try it, then it doesn't work? That's where we're at with Will Smith, right? So the biggest role to me is if Will Smith can't go, Dalton Rushing has to be on this roster whether he plays or not, period. And I just don't see any scenario on earth where any human being on earth right now can 100% unequivocally say, yes, Will Smith is healthy enough to catch if something happens to Ben Rortvedt.
Yeah, in that scenario, Rushing is a no-brainer. He's got to be on there. And here's the other part. It's the nature of Will's injury, too. If he's got a sprained ankle, nobody gives a damn.
100%.
He's playing all the time.
Like Freddie.
The nature of his injury is tough. It's like an arm injury for a pitcher. Hell, it's your go-to. It's not something you can, just work through. It has to be, you have to be able to go, you either go or you don't go. And catching is such an important position, and hard, catching the ball, gripping the ball. I mean, you got to have both hands strong, everything to handle those situations. So there's no either or there, and the nature of his injury makes it a dicey situation. Mm-hmm. Let's face it, if he's good to go, he's starting. So hell, he ain't gonna be a backup catcher.
The good thing about the safety you do have, if Workvet gets hurt, like injured, then you can replace him with Dalton Rushing. So it's not about like Will Smith, like Chuck's saying, if he takes one off the fingertip, he might be done. At that point, you're safe because then you just replace him with Dalton Rushing on the roster. Yep. So it's not if either one of them get injured, you're fine. It's a matter of if they get nicked up. So what if Workvet gets nicked up in the middle of a game and it's the second inning and you have to cover 7 innings at catcher? The question is, can Will Smith cover the rest of that 7 innings? That's the question. Because again, if you're covered if it's an injury, because then you can replace roster spots at that point. So final thoughts, Coach. I think it's Ohtani game 1. I think you piggyback him, you let Glasnow finish all at game 1. That kind of takes his in-between start bullpen away and actually gives it game situation. Plus, you don't want him going 14 days in between starts or 13, however many it is, and then the next start being in the playoffs. And then also, even if he does pitch, say, 3 innings on Saturday, he would still be able, on full rest, to pitch game 4 with Yamamoto game 2 and Blake Snell game 3. Of the 6 spots, I think the last 3 spots are going to go to Robo. I think they're going to go to Dalton Rushing and Justin Dean. That would be the last 3 spots that I would give. Final thoughts for you before we get out of here.
Same thing. You got to go with the backup. I even said this, and I know you said it too on the high school level, Legion level. You got to have a backup catcher. You got all kinds of emergency guys that can fill their ass in there back there, but you got to have a capable backup catcher. So I think you're right on Rushing there. So I'm excited about the series. Hey, I owe my brother-in-law 6-pack of Yingling. I hadn't paid his yet. I'm gonna have to call him tonight and go double or nothing. So I either owe him 2 6-packs or I owe him nothing. So that sort of thing. That's just a personal deal, but it's going to be a great series. I totally agree with that. I had a buddy of mine last night as a Cub fan, Brent Antoine. Brent, he said the same thing. Dodgers and Phillies are 2 best teams in baseball. We saw it last year. Dodgers and the Padres were the best teams in baseball last year, and they played the first round. It doesn't matter. You're gonna face it. It's a great Phillies team, top to bottom.
It is.
The Dodgers.
Very classy, too. Very classy.
Yeah, very classy team. I love that team. Don't love them enough to beat my team, but I think it's going to be a great series. I'm excited about it. Love the fact that Ohtani's going game 1, and they're going to give him some leash. They're going to let him go a little bit. They're not going to be stupid with him.
A normal leash, whatever a normal starting pitcher would get. I mean, that statement's already been made.
Let her rip. Let her rip. That's the great part of what they've done to this point. They've gone 3 or 4 games up and moved up. And they haven't blown him out early in the year.
See, another reason why you have Glasnow on the back is let's say Ohtani's wearing down, right? And you go out and you go, hey, Shohei, I know what the normal answer is. If I ask, hey, how you feeling, you're going to say, fine, leave me in. I get it. I know that. Not stupid. Sure. I've done this a million times. Okay, but let me explain something to you, Shohei. We've got Tyler Glasnow ready to throw the last 3 innings, and he hadn't thrown since September 27th. Now tell me how good you are. And you might actually get a true answer from there, like, dude, I think actually Glasnow might actually be better than me at this moment because a fresh, knowing that you have a Glasnow behind you like that, and you're able to use that bullet if you're Dave going out to the mound, that also might get you a more honest answer from a Shohei Ohtani and get better results from that perspective. So, Coach, I love you. This has been a wonderful show. Totally enjoyed being on you. What a great crowd we've had on Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. They are the best, Coach. So, I love you. Thank you so much, man.
Love you too, Case, and look forward to Dodgers. Go Dodgers.
Absolutely. So you Dodgers Dogs are the absolute best, 100%. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.